If you're joining us live, we are having technical difficulties. We are running about 10 minutes late because Mercury in retrograde PreShadow has really had a day of itself with me and my technical issues. So you can't see me, but you can hear me. These are my hands, I promise. And we are live today with Brianna. It is Brianna, not Brianna, correct? Did I say that incorrectly? Okay, good. It is Brianna. She is a friend of a friend, and she has offered to grace us with her presence today for our live free tarot. Is this your first time getting a tarot reading, Brianna?
Yes.
Awesome. I love being like the first tarot reader, although it does kind of ruin you for other tarot readers. So I've been reading for more than 15 years. I'm an intuitive tarotist. So I don't actually utilize the predetermined meanings of the cards. I go based off my psychic channeling as to what messages come through. So today we're using a beautiful deck that I was called to use for you. This is the Marigold Deck, and it's got, you know, some gold coloring. It's based heavily on, you know, skulls and kind of a darker noir side of tarot. But I also love the beauty of the darkness. And I think that really kind of matched the energy that you carry. This beautiful darkness. So I'm sure you can kind of relate to that. So do you have a specific question that you want for the cards, or do you just want a general reading?
Just a general reading.
Excellent. I love doing these. They're not pre-shuffle, so I'll just shuffle these a few times. I like to do a bridge shuffle with my cards, which is a little more aggressive than a lot of other tarot readers use with their cards. You know, you'll see a lot of the side shuffle, or just knocking and like allowing that to be the shuffle. I like to use a variety. The entire process for me is intuitive. So even how long I shuffle, what cards I pull, how I lay the cards, and then what messages come through the cards. Okay, so the first card coming up for you is the Six of Cups. I show it right side up, but you might see it upside down here in the camera. I love this card. It's a beautiful card. After every reading, I always take a picture of the layout and send it to the client. So I'll do the same today as well. So this card, what I see here is you having to put on a different face for different people. It's very important to you to like be who you are all of the time, but at the same time, you felt a lot of pressure lately to kind of cater to who you're around. And I'm getting the sense of a lot of times acting like you're more okay than you really are, emotionally. So I don't know if that resonates with you. That's kind of what's coming through with the cards, is just feeling kind of, and it's bothering you because it is very important to you to stick to your authenticity and to stick to who you are all of the time. And so it bothers you that you suddenly feel pressure to alter that, to kind of put a face on. And that is hard on you. And the message that's coming through is that you don't have to do that. I think that there was a cue from someone, or several someones really, that told you that it was time to stop grieving, and it was time to it was time to move on, or it was time to do this, it was time to act this way, it was time to be happy. And I think you just kind of got tired of fighting everyone saying the same thing, and so you just started to put on that face to kind of make it an easier transition for them. But the message that's coming through really strong is that you don't have to fuck everybody else. Like, that's literally what's coming through, is fuck them, which I think really resonates for you, of fuck them. And maybe instead of them invalidating what you're going through and what you're feeling, maybe this is a really good opportunity for you to help them destigmatize taking time with your own emotions, and helping them to understand that not everyone grieves the same way, not everyone reacts the same way. There is no set time frame for how one emotion flows into another. And the fact that they're pressuring you to behave a certain way, they may not even realize it, but if they do, that's more a reflection of them than it is on you. And it's not fair to put our expectations on other people. So it might help them to open up and to wake up as to how they are treating people unintentionally. I don't feel like this is coming from a negative place. I feel like it is very of heart, just coming out the wrong way. And the result is that you don't feel like you're really being able to be yourself lately. And that's hard. That's not easy on anyone. Especially because you do have a very creative and a very flowing, artsy personality, and having to like kind of tame that or collar that is very akin to taking a wild lion and putting it in a cage. That's not you. Okay, so here I have the 5 of Swords reversed. Okay, I see that you're feeling very pinned in. You're feeling very, did my camera go out?
Yeah. Hello.
Okay, hi. Okay, are we back? Are we good? See what I mean? Mercury retrograde. We're like 2 weeks away and it's still, all right, I digress. Okay, so what I have here, this is the 5 of Swords reversed. What I feel here is that you're feeling very caged. You're feeling very surrounded and pressured and caught, and there's this needling feeling growing in you to rebel. And I feel like you're afraid of that. You're afraid of that rebel because you know how destructive that rebelliousness can be. And the message that's coming through here is, yes, you've seen how it can be super destructive to rebel, but it only becomes that destructive when you try and hold it down and tiger it down for so long. And here, actually, what is needed, because that's going to continue to grow until you say fuck it, and then it does become destructive. And so here, what I'm seeing is, if you let a little bit of steam out of that cook pot every once in a while, if you show a little bit of small rebellions here and there, it'll actually do better for you rather than trying to keep it all bottled down and then creating like a pressure cooker explosion kind of situation. So that's actually what I'm seeing here is, the more you try and tame this lion, the bigger the fallout is going to be. And so in return, try and think of smaller ways you can rebel, less destructive ways you can rebel. So for instance, you can take a sledgehammer to the walls of your house, but that's really destructive. Or you can go to a rage room and blow off some steam, go throw some battle axes. So it's still rebellious, it's still destructive, but in an acceptable manner. But it still has the same effect on allowing that steam to blow off. The more that you keep this bottle down, you're gonna reach that point of destruction and rebelliousness that you have come to be afraid of, because you have a lot of really good things in your life and you don't want to destroy that. I also see some grief here, specifically around your kids growing up, specifically around, you live for your kids. And I know that you have one graduating, and that's and one right behind her, and that's very realistic now. It's very in your face of, oh my God, like my kids are growing up and they're going to be gone soon, and how do I handle that? What do I do? That's okay, and that's normal. So I think giving yourself some space to feel that and process it, rather than trying to shove it away because it's scary and it's overwhelming. It is very overwhelming, but you're not alone in that. And what you're going through is valid, especially when you do live for your kids and you love them so much. I think maybe looking back and taking note of what you feel you have done really well, will help with that. You know, making sure that they are prepared for the next step, and that they know that they can come home if they need to. I mean, not to couch surf. I have a feeling you would put a stop to that, but yeah, you know, allow yourself to feel your feelings, because I don't feel like you really are lately. I feel like you're looking for the next moment that could bring even just a brief bit of happiness, and that's all you're focused on, and you're invalidating the rest of your emotions, and that's very important for you to start kind of paying attention to some of those, and that'll also help with the pressure cooker issue. Okay, so here I have the 8 of Wands. I do see a very beautiful, memory-filled summer. I'm just getting a lot of like warm sensations of happy memories of spending time with the kids, creating moments of joy intentionally, not just waiting for the next moment of happiness, but actually going out and creating them, helping. You know, I wanted to say helping with college, but I don't even think it's that. It's smaller than that. It's when you lay outside at night because it's so warm. The summer gets so hot you can't even bear to be inside, so you take a blanket outside and you just, you know, lay and wait for the breeze, laughing, like the really small important memories that last a lifetime. And that's what I see a lot of your summer being, is focusing on the small moments in between of happiness. Of what we've covered so far, do you have any questions that you want clarification on or that you want to touch on?
No.
Okay, so I have the Page of Swords. Yeah, there is a lot of heartache, a lot of I should have done this, we could have done this better, we could have done this sooner. A lot of that. And I think the message that's coming through is the time that was spent exactly how it was supposed to. And that feels very, very important. So Sean is not here to like step in and talk, but he wants you to know that his presence is there. And I feel like that's for a very specific reason. It's for, what I'm seeing is like, he knows how strong of a woman you are. He wants you to know, just like always, he's there for you to lean on, but he knows you can handle your own shit. And he knows that even if he wanted it, you would not reach a point where you were codependent, even on his afterlife energy. But he does want you to know that you are, his energy is there for you to lean on. And it always will be. And he also wants you to know that, I mean, that's coming through from him, is the time that was spent, as limited as it was spent exactly as it was supposed to. So don't beat yourself up of, we could have done this, we should have done this sooner. What if we'd only gone to see this doctor, if we'd only gone to, he knows that there's a lot of times where you get into this spiral in your mind of what ifs, and he wants you to release yourself from that. There is not a moment that is regretted, and there is no regret, and he doesn't want there to be on your side either. It was a beautiful memory, a beautiful series of memories that you will always be able to carry with you. But that's exactly what just keeps coming through, is the time that was spent exactly as it was supposed to. And now you're on to the next chapter, and that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. He's also the one that's coming through and touching on, you say fuck it to them, as far as your emotions are your emotions. You don't have to put a mask on for anyone. So that's very clearly coming through from him. He knows that there's heartache and that there's grief. And he could help ease it, but he also knows that the grief itself is a process and it's a journey on its own. But he is there for you to lean on, just like he always was. So I have the Queen of Rings. What a beautiful card. You are playing yourself down. You are much more talented and powerful and creative and impressive than you even give yourself credit for, or that you allow others to give credit for. You are playing yourself down, and it's up to you to decide if you're ready for that to stop. You know, do you want to be the person that knows you're a badass internally, but, you know, tampers that down for everyone else? That's a decision that you have to make within yourself. But I have a feeling that that's going to be a part of this next chapter that you've been in for, you know, almost a year. Is you're really just in the first few pages of that next chapter. But this is where you start to actually get to know yourself a little better in this regard of allowing yourself to remember who the fuck you are and play to it. Is that if that's what you want? And I think that's the first big decision is, do you want to just have that be your own little mysterious secret, or do you want to share that and show people how fucking impressive you can be? So I feel like that's really going to come up this summer, especially, is there's going to be a lot of instances that pop up of, how am I going to play this? Am I going to show them what a badass I am, or are we just going to smirk and let them think what they want to think? So that's, yeah. And I'm sensing a lot of creativity, a lot of artistry, specifically with this. Okay, I have the Eight of Swords reversed. So on first look, what I'm seeing is a toothache. But I feel like there's something else to that. So I don't think it's just a toothache. That's interesting. That's a little hidden. Something to do with a dentist. Like a when was the last time you went to the dentist? Longer than it should have been?
Right before Sean passed away.
Okay, so longer than it should have been.
Yeah, about 2 years.
Okay, yeah. Maybe it's time to go back to the dentist. And I don't necessarily think that it's actually, I mean, are you experiencing a toothache?
No, I actually lost a crown a couple days ago.
So then it's time to go back to the dentist. And I feel like that's a trigger for, I mean, a good thing. Like it's like a catalyst for something that's supposed to happen. And what I mean by that is either a romantic interest, but I feel more like it's a business flirtation, and an opportunity to bring in business for something you're wanting to try. So I don't know if that means like art for a dentist office, or I don't know. But I have a feeling that you need to schedule an appointment with the dentist, and not just because you lost a crown, but there's more to it. Someone you're going to meet, whether it's the dentist or if it's someone else at the dentist office, Yeah, that feels, and Sean's going to help you out. So I feel like he's helping. He now is in a place where he can help guide you. You just have to decide what it is you want, and he can help guide you along that path. But yeah, so going to the dentist, it opens up a path of opportunity. Yeah, opportunity and more income. But in a way where it's aligned with who you actually want to be. You know, you're not really, you understand what things are important to you in your life. And these opportunities, the financial opportunities, are aligned with what's important to you. Taking a slower pace, being with your kids, sharing love, enjoying the small moments. So, but also being able to have fun, because what's life without fun? So this is a little personal, and I wouldn't ask if the cards weren't asking me to, but do you currently go to AA?
No,
Okay. Have you ever thought about going to AA?
I've been, but
And this has nothing to do with, hey, you drink too much, you should go, because I don't know how much you drink. I don't
I
know you
don't
won't.
drink at all.
See, there you go. Okay. So again, this feels very aligned with that opportunity of like meeting people that are supposed to be in this next chapter of your life. So I don't know if that means getting invited to go to AA, or I don't know. I would keep an ear out for that, because I feel like that something to do with AA is going to come up. And it's around the same time, maybe a little bit after going to the dentist. And so it's going to feel very serendipitous of things are falling into place for a certain opportunity that piques your interest. See, this is a lot of fun, because like I actually don't know anything about what you do for work or what you do for hobbies. And so reading the card is really interesting, because like I don't know exactly how it applies to your business. So I'm just delivering messages that come through.
Well, I don't drink, so I haven't really drank since right after high school. So
That's impressive. That's impressive. I have several friends who are they have their own business, and yet they also do AA. And it's not even from an addictive standpoint, as much as it is seeking a life of sobriety for the mental health benefits. So that's definitely not from a place of judgment. I fully support AA. And just in general, I support people leaning into what feels aligned for who they are. So yeah, I do kind of feel like that's coming up, and it's like an evening AA, because I'm getting an image of a church at night, connecting, networking, also maybe like a grief group, like a grief support group or something like that, which I know initially you're like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm just telling you what's coming through. And then in addition to that, something that's coming through really strong is spending time outdoors at night under the stars is very inspirational for your creativity. So if you're looking to like really ramp up your innovation and your creativity, then spending some time outside at night looking up at the sky, I feel like you're really being called to do that. That feels very important this summer, not only to do so with your kids, but just in general of just slowing down and seeing how big the universe can really be. And there's something about that that's very calming for you and really helps to get your brain brainstorming. Okay, from what we've covered now, do you have any questions?
no.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Okay, I feel like I have one more card. Seeing if there's anything else that's popping out to me. This is the King of Wands. I'm going to move it so you can see it. There we go. This is the King of Wands. Beautiful. Interesting. Do you ever work with wildflowers or gardening or anything like that?
No, I tried to sell some flowers at Valentine's, but we got snowed in. So
Oh yeah, that's right. You know, in a state where you never fucking have snow and suddenly you had more snow than you can handle. Yeah.
yeah, I ended up with about 16 dozen roses left over in my living room. So
Oh my goodness. Is that something that you normally try and do, is sell roses?
no, just something I wanted to do. I like flowers.
Okay. So what I am seeing here is, I guess it could be flowers. I was seeing it more as like wildflowers, collecting wildflowers. Yeah, so collecting wildflowers or herbs, in that kind of like get back to nature kind of way. But I also see it in like an apothecary type of way. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so I see now that, okay, there was I don't know if you believe in past lives or not. I do. So I see that you may have been an apothecary in a different life. So that idea of like getting back to nature and doing natural healing, natural teas, salves, herbal remedies. I feel like that's something that kind of interests you. Just the fragrancy of it, the beauty of it. Even doing like wildflower bouquets for weddings. These are just things that are coming up. Yeah, so I'm getting teas, wildflower bouquets, collecting herbs for like dry herb supplies, even something as far as like maybe selling it on Etsy. So these are all things that are coming through. So if that is something that you enjoy as far as the flowers go, then I would lean into that a little more, even if it's just brainstorming and allowing things to come to you, because I feel like there are some messages that are trying to come to you and you don't know what it is you're supposed to be listening for, or you don't even know that you should be listening for messages, but they are trying to come through. So I'm getting like a take the hands off the wheel kind of vibe of try and not control the thoughts when you're outside enjoying the night sky. Just flow. Just allow the thoughts to flow, and see what comes through. Because I feel like there's some energy that's trying to assist you. And it's not just Sean. Like I get the sense that it's like your spirit team, you know, if it's whether it's an angel or not, I'm not sure, but benevolent try that again. Benevolent energies trying to help inspire you towards what it is you want to do. So it looks like you have quite a bit of brainstorming this summer. Some thought patterns to go over as far as if you want to show the world how much of a badass you are. But it feels like a very chill summer, but very internalized. Yeah, it feels very inward focused, and not in a selfish way, just in a educational, curious way of what's next for me. It doesn't feel fast paced or overwhelming. I think in a lot of ways, processing some of the grief and the emotion that you've been going through is that's why it needs to be such a slow paced summer. Because there's a lot to process. There's a lot to process with Sean's passing and with your daughter graduating and just so many changes. So I feel like giving yourself permission to get back to your emotions is very important here. It needs to just flow like a lazy river. So give yourself some grace, some self-care, and yeah, it feels like a good summer, but it's going to be an emotional one, and you have to decide if you're okay with that. It's necessary. That's what is wanted for you. But ultimately you make the decisions of whatever path is before you. So if you decide I don't want to feel emotion, and I don't want to, whatever decisions you make is going to change what the cards have to say. So nothing is set in stone. It is your decision. And I think even just knowing that you have that level of freedom, even when sometimes it feels like you're trapped, you have that level of freedom. You can make all the decisions, all the changes. It's what do you feel like you want to be moving towards? But in order to feel what you want to be moving towards, you actually have to feel. So what do you think of your first tarot reading?
I think I got a lot to think about.
I think so too. I would agree with that, yes. And if you need any clarification in the future, then I would be happy to pull some cards for you.
I think it's cool. I'm gonna see how it all plays into my daily life, and then I'll let you know as things like.
I mean, I'm not going anywhere, so.
Yeah. I'll let you know as things play out, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear how your summer goes. Because it feels it's interesting, even as I'm giving you this information, and even as I'm reading the cards, the level of like just calmness, like just it's time to sit down and fucking relax kind of vibe that is coming through. Like I can hear it in my voice, I can feel it in my body. And so it's interesting how that's just like flowing over me as it's intended to flow over your summer. It's just this slower paced, we're not rushing, and we're damn sure not rushing because someone else wants us to rush. And I love it. I'm here for it. It's going to be a powerful summer.
A relaxing one would be nice.
Yeah, well, get ready to hurry up and relax. So
right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I loved having the opportunity to read for you, and I know we had some technical difficulties, so I appreciate your patience there at the beginning. But yeah, so this has been recorded. It'll be uploaded within the next few days, and I'll tag you when I add it to IGTV and Facebook.
Okay.
So I always upload it to YouTube as well. So yeah, and I have another spot at the end of June. I believe it's June 23rd, 5:30 to 6 p.m. We ran a little over today because we started late, which was part my fault, part technology's fault. Anyway, yes, so I have one last session for this quarter, June 23rd, 5:30 p.m. So if you've been wanting your cards read, this is a free session, a free opportunity. The only catch is you have to be brave enough, like Brianna has been today, to be read live and recorded for socials, so that this is forever available for anyone who is curious about how intuitive tarot readings go. So DM me if you have any questions, DM me if you want that spot in June, and thanks so much for being here, Brianna. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.